Welcome to the SQL EQL form tutorial. SQL, Structured Query Language, is the general computer science language for querying a relational database such as the backends of PCAs. Query means searching a database in order to retrieve information previously stored there. SQL is a very powerful language, but for all SQL can do, it is a surprisingly very simple language based on a handful of commands. All the more simple because PCAs has a specialized form for preparing SQL queries with many built-in presets SQL queries. Let's open that form by hitting the function key F7. On the left, there are several buttons such as AutoSQL, AutoSQL Sum, SQL Duplicate, and so on. These buttons will set up automatically for you different types of queries. When no queries or tables are available for analysis, the preset queries will provide basic exemplary query templates to give you an idea of how to set up one of your own. Let's give it a try and click on AutoSQL. And this is what a basic SQL query will look like. The query shows the handful of typical SQL commands: select, from, where, and order by. You select a set of fields from a specific table, perhaps setting conditions on a field using the where clause, and sorting the results in ascending or descending order on selected fields that you can select with the order by clause. More complex preset queries are the ones that give you the frequency of certain fields, all the duplicate records in a table, or the unmatched records across two different tables, and you can also get a template SQL query for union and join queries. And here's what they will look like this for union, or here is a template for join queries. And if you try to run one of the sample queries, you will get this warning. In fact, the real usefulness of these preset queries is when you have actual tables and real data. So let's click on the Select User Tables button here and select one of the user tables that come with the sample database. For example, the Demo.gis Google Earth table. The name of the available table will now appear on the caption on the form up there. More to the point, PCAs will have set up a real SQL basic query that you can actually run. Let's click on the SQL button to run the query. And this is what the output will look like in the query results form, with all the fields available in the user table displayed as columns. The query results form is a very powerful tool where you can do a lot with the data displayed in the form, with many different buttons for data analysis and visualization, for data handling, and basic functions. You can click on the video button behind this form to listen to a tutorial and read the many tips files available. Let's try another couple of preset functions using the user table Demo.gis Google Earth. Suppose that you want to find the frequency distribution of when events happened. Click on the summation symbol here. And then you can select, for example, the date at which each event happened. We can decide to show in the output query all the other fields in the table, or just the field that we have selected. For now, we will choose to display all the other fields in the table. And now we can run the query. And here we see all the fields that were previously in the table, and the frequency for each date. Now, suppose that you want to find any duplicate records. So let's click on the SQL Dups button. We can choose to find the duplicates in a selected field in the table or in all fields. For now, we will select all fields. And then we can run the SQL query. Let's have a look now at the union queries. Union queries extract one or more fields from different tables and display the results in a set of fields with values coming from each of them. A union query does not really care what goes in the output field or fields. Any field or fields that you select will be shown in the same column or columns. Inner join queries also extract fields from different tables, joining the tables via the values of two specific fields. Inner join queries combine records from two tables whenever there are matching values in a common field. Aside from the preset buttons for various SQL functions, there are two special functions that hide behind the button special functions here. These are two functions that, while based on SQL, they cannot be performed as SQL queries because they involve loops through records. It is the concatenate and split functions, two very useful functions that PCAs helps you to perform automatically. Suppose that you want to get a list of all the dates where events happened using the user table demo network. These dates are distributed, as you can see, on different records. We want to take each date from each record and concatenate them together in a comma-separated string according to the value in the node 1 field. So we select special functions, concatenate field values, we choose the field that we wish to concatenate, the node 1 start date, and then we choose the key field that will be used to concatenate the values. And here we go. Now on this concatenated string you can try the inverse operation, so you can split the concatenated values into different records. Let's try that. So we choose to build an SQL on the newly created table, and we select special functions and split field values, then choose the field that we want to split, select the separator that we used, in our case a comma, and then click on OK. And here we have the split values. If the preset buttons do not give you exactly what you want, you can always modify the query directly in the query area here, or you can try your hand in building a query with the assisted tool build query. You can try that. You may wonder what the meaning of all those 4 different SQL and EQL buttons is. The 2 SQL buttons will run whatever SQL query you have in the query area as an SQL query. The button with an arrow under it will run the query as a GoToSQL query, a query that will display results in the query result form with hidden fields that contain inner join values that PCAs uses to zoom into specific records directly in the database. The EQL buttons there only apply to queries written in EQL, so Extended Query Language, a language developed to deal with the PCA's relational tables. Before Dr. Fabio Cunial developed the Query Manager, EQL was the only way to query the database. The QM still converts the graphical interface into an underlying EQL clause, but you do not have to worry about EQL. By and large, you can do any type of query via the form QM and SQL EQL. If interested, you can take a look at the tips files on EQL. The SQL form, in fact, is very effective in allowing you to redefine the results of a QM query. Notice how you have a variety of ways of saving or renaming and deleting your queries, internally to PCAs, or externally importing the query to your hard drive so that you can perhaps import it in another PCA's database if you work on multiple projects. And we're done. Don't forget to watch the tutorials for the Query Manager form and for the Query Results form, the data analysis video.